don't
Are
even
you
know.
saying that I'm not normal?
You're not normal? No, you're not normal, Gary.
Welcome to Anna and Gary's East-West Coaching Podcast.
Welcome to Anna and Gary's East-West Coaching.
Ever thought you're sometimes going through the motion? Gary and I have both been there. And that's why we created the East-West Coaching Podcast. I'm Anna, and joining me is Gary. We are here to chat about life, love, and everything in between. Whether you're feeling stuck, frustrated, or just looking for a little more spark in your life, we got you covered. Let's dive in.
Okay, so before we start talking about cognitive distortions and giving our favourites, do you have a favourite cognitive distortion? Oh yes, this is how I like to distort my thinking the most. Can we say what is a cognitive distortion?
Cognitive distortions are thoughts that are not based on fact, and they tend to be on the negative side. So it's like exaggerations of things. Mm-hmm. Or distortions of facts. Yeah.
So you're saying that they may have some basis of reality, and then somehow they go off on a tangent, or they get made bigger or smaller or whatever it is. Yeah, is that right?
Not always they are the reality, right? But our mind, for whatever reason, our childhood, all that. Everything that we learn, maybe the way we think about ourselves or the world, brings us into this way of thinking.
It wasn't until I started kind of going into CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and coaching, is that I'd come across this term, cognitive distortions. I don't think I'd ever come across the term before. Why are they problem? Why is it a problem? What makes cognitive distortions a problem for people?
As we are humans, we might all have these cognitive distortions. So let's say a not correct way of thinking. But if you tend to always or very often have these, they could even bring you to mental health problems, very low mood or feelings, because you're basically making your life harder if you keep falling into this.
Why would I make life harder for myself by having a thought that's not helping me?
Before I got into coaching, I didn't even know these things existed. It was just maybe my way of thinking or being. I didn't think anything of it. It was just the way it was. So you're not aware in the first place of this. The way it is, I don't know, I suppose it's our brain in a way works that way. It's because of what we believe of ourselves or others.
I think what you said was, we just accept these things. This is what we think, and therefore we think maybe it must be true. If I think this, why would I argue with my thought that it's true? So we're just used to hearing those thoughts going in our heads, and we accept them. We don't challenge them.
Well, you don't even know that you have to challenge them. That's the problem.
Yes.
It's like if you haven't studied this thing, or you're in the field, let's say. I mean, normal people, let's call them normal people, average people, they don't even think about this thing. They don't even know this exists. So how can you change it or catch it if you don't even know?
Are you saying that I'm not normal?
You're not normal? No, you're not normal, Gary.
Okay, that's fine. That's good. Thank you. Maybe then the way to help people is to give some examples of what we mean when we talk about cognitive distortions.
Filtering don't know if there's another name, but filtering.
Okay, so when you say filtering, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, it's, for example, in a situation, there are more positive aspects than negative, but you filter it out and you hear and you focus only on the one negative aspect. Your boss or your manager compliments you on how great your performance was, and it tells you everything that you did right, is so happy for you, tells you many times, and it tells you one thing that you could improve. You get out of that meeting and you feel like a failure, sort of thing, It's like, oh my God. And now, so you filtered out all the positive and you just focused on the one negative thing, thing to improve, which there's nothing wrong with that, because otherwise you'd be a robot maybe, and you feel defeated.
Yes, I think that there are some actors who they never look at their reviews in the newspapers. No, even if it's been a fantastic performance, they're scared of getting a poor review because that will have a massive effect on them. It doesn't matter how many people love them, whether they got a standing ovation or not. If they get one criticism, they go, oh no, that's my career over.
Yeah, it's like somehow we are programmed, let's say, to just, when you hear many, I don't know, influencers or whatever, people that are on social media, they might get, millions of compliments, but that one criticism is like, boom, like a punch in the face.
We had a play at our school last week, and as part of that play, there was a little vignette, and the child was talking to the mum, saying, "How did I do?" And the mum said, "Did really well." And the child says, "And you did well." But there's always a but. You're always going to tell me that there's something wrong. Tell me what did I do wrong? Just tell me. And eventually, well, you could have done this. So I knew it. I knew there would be something awful. Yes. And so, yeah, we filter out all of the great stuff. And I think that filter stops us enjoying life. Okay, so we've got this mental filter, or the filtering. Well, what else did you decide that you're going to look at?
So I got black or white thinking. For example, let's say you start a healthy diet.
Mm-hmm.
You get on with your routine, and then one day you happen to eat junk food. So all of a sudden you said, okay, so now I've made this mistake. There's no point in, going on. So you just stop and you don't even try to get back on the right path, let's say. It's thinking, yeah, you have to be perfect in a way, I would say, because otherwise it's a failure. So it's black or white. It's not a gray area there. You don't allow yourself to, to be flexible or to be a bit more compassionate. You just think, okay, one day I done it wrong. That's it. Everything is ruined and I can't get back to it anymore. There's no point.
Yeah, this proves that I'm a failure. This proves I can't do it. And again, it's also kind of filtering, because it forgets all of the 50 days beforehand when the diet was going really well, or the person hadn't had a drink. If they were trying to come off alcohol and they have a drink, they go, "Oh, I had a drink. That shows I can't do it, so I'll just have some more." What? And it stops us from achieving. It stops us from growing. Also, I think black and white thinking creates I think it creates heroes and it creates monsters. So in the political sphere, if you have somebody that you generally don't agree with, black and white thinking says, I can't like anything that they say. So even if they come up with some really good ideas, no, because you've already dismissed everything because you know how they are, that person is, and you know that you will always disagree with them. And so you kind of create a monster. Or the other side, the other side of thinking is whatever this person says, this person will always be right, and I'll always have to agree with them. Of course, nobody's ever like that. With everybody, there's good and bad, right and wrong, and things we like and things we don't like. I'm tempted to say 50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah.
We can put a link in the description of 50 Shades of Grey for anybody who doesn't know.
And also, I would like to say stay tuned because me and Gary are going to share which one of these we tend to fall into.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we're going to read sections of 50 Shades of Grey. I was going to have to go to my bookshelf.
Maybe another time.
You had me really worried there, Anna.
Shall I give another example?
Yes.
Oh, this is, I think, a very big one. Like we all tend to, without even knowing, maybe. And is overgeneralizing. And this is, when you use words like always, never, everything, nothing, when these things words are frequent in your language, for example, I don't know, you give an idea in a meeting or speaking with your friends, whatever, and this idea is not taken in consideration this time, maybe. You say to yourself, oh, there you go. I am never taken in consideration. I never say the right thing.
And what's the problem with that?
Because you're using never, you are discounting yourself, you're putting yourself down because if you start to examine it and maybe ask yourself, never, is that really true? I mean, never, ever, ever I get taken in consideration or I am listened to, then you might discover, well, no, it's not never. Maybe sometimes, maybe it's once or twice a month, I don't know. But you start challenging that thought, that belief, and you will see that it's not never, ever, ever. It's like, yeah, it happens.
Yeah, and I think that there's lots of levels to that. So, for example, the person who says, they never listen to me. Well, they? Who are they? Is it everybody else? Nobody ever listens to you? Well, so there's the generalization of they. It could be one person who's just quite dismissive of everybody. It could be. But it could be that one person, and suddenly it's the whole world against you. And if you think the whole world is against you, the world gets really quite tiring and really quite negative. And if you carry that around, that's a big weight to carry. And like you say, if you can then go, what do I mean by they? Who are they? Oh, these two people? Okay, so those two people may be like that. What about the other 8 people? Or the other people in my life, or my other friends, or my other colleagues? Are they like that? Oh, no.
Yeah, to ask yourself kind of a bit more specific question. Who specifically, doesn't listen to me? When specifically? Where specifically? Just be specific.
Yes, we had a course running in our school, and the person running the course was getting people to think about these generalizations for their own work, because it can have an impact on how we operate in our work, how positive we can be in our work, and whether what we bring to the table, and whether we feel that we can add value to the work that we're doing. And so he said, test out these theories. Just check to see whether what you believe is true. And bless them, one person went through this and they listed all the times when it was true. I said, fantastic, that you've listed all the time. Are there any times when it wasn't true? They've gone the other way around, and they were still discounting all the positives. You're not trying to test the hypothesis of whether it's true. It might not be true sometimes.
Hey everyone, before we get back to our chat, I wanted to give you a quick shout out to where you can find us, as well as more resources and articles. You can find out more about Gary at www.thinkwellnow.net, and you can find me on LinkedIn under my name, Anna Amoroso. We will include all the links in the video description below. Please consider liking and subscribing to this channel to help us in reaching more people who might value this type of content, and click the bell to get news of our latest podcast. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yes, and another thing you might say is nothing ever goes my way. If you say that a lot, guess what? You will focus on all the things that don't go your way. You will find that in your life, you will tend to be sort of like like a victim to events or situations.
One of my work colleagues said to me, I never get offered jobs. I said, oh, that's interesting. How did you get this one?
I love that.
Sometimes we say these things and they feel true.
Yeah.
But just because something feels true doesn't mean it is.
Yeah, it doesn't mean they are the facts.
I feel a million things throughout the day, and 999,999 are not true. Sometimes I feel like I am the most handsome man in the world. I may feel like that. I may kind of walk like I am. But make it true.
As humans, we just like to make our life difficult.
Yeah, so testing out, because these are a hypothesis. It's like, when are the times that it's not true? And it's a really good thing to do with ourselves when we start to notice that we've got these thoughts. Okay, let me just stop. What's going on here? And when are the times when this is not the case? And then you can start to dismantle the argument and give yourself a more realistic thought. Because often, like I think you said at the very beginning, often the thoughts maybe have an element of truth in it. Was I criticized? Yeah, I was. Is it the end of the world? No, it isn't. Okay.
Yes, so I'll tell you my last one, and then you can, I have so many, and they're so interesting, but
Aren't they just?
So, discounting the positive. This is a big one. So, for example, if someone pays you compliment, maybe the way you look, you think, oh, well, they're just being nice. You don't take it in. Someone tells you, your manager, oh, your report was really comprehensive and thorough. And you just think, yeah, well, anyone could have done that.
Yeah, just dismissing. Yeah. It's a strange one, isn't it? I wonder why we do that.
Well, I can speak for myself. In my case, was based on someone worth.
It's
Yeah,
done
for
work.
other people, worth. Yeah,
Mhm.
how worthy I felt of, that compliment, or I don't know. It's like you have a sort of like a shield, and you just can't take these things in. You can't internalize them. It's like, oh yeah, he's just being nice. He's just being polite. Anyone could have done this. There's nothing special about me.
I wonder how that helps us.
I don't think it's very helpful. Yeah, because I don't know. Sometimes we might mistaken that for being humble, and it's like,
Yes.
yeah, but I mean, it's okay. I'm humble. Like, I don't have anything special about me, and it's okay. But as always, like the extremes of things, this might be one extreme of the medal, and maybe the other extreme is being a narcissist, for example. So finding the middle way could be a good solution.
Yeah, I mean, I used to do that an awful lot. Is kind of just brush off any kind of compliment. Yeah, and there are different ways of doing it. I've heard people say, they said that was good. I wonder what they wanted.
Mm.
So again, I think that kind of brush off of a compliment maybe is an indication that the person has been hurt in the past, or that they have been manipulated.
Yeah, very good point.
Yeah, I would brush off any kind of compliment really with what you said. Oh, it's not special. Anyone could do it. And it took me a long time, even when I didn't feel it, when I heard a compliment, to go, thank you so much for saying that. And even if in the inside I was going, it's not true. Because it does two things. One, you are discounting for yourself anything good. That opportunity to build on something that's been good, that you've done well. And you're telling the other person that what they've told you is worthless, that what they have seen is not true. So you're discounting them as well. And I wonder how they feel. So when I compliment people, and when I mean it, I try not to compliment people when I don't.
Do you think this has got a connection as well? For example, there's many people who find it hard to accept help or to accept presents. And it's just like, wow, man, I'm trying to like give you a present, and you either like dismiss it very quickly. Oh, thank you very much, and get on with it. So you don't show not gratitude because you have to, but like appreciating the person that took the time to choose a gift for you, and the other one is like and there's examples of this in my family, like trying to give someone something to contribute, right? And they just don't want to, like it's just like closed, and it's like no, you don't have to, you shouldn't have to, and it's like they're sort of like controlling you because you want to contribute but they don't let you. And that can be kind of also offensive to the other person, because if I want to contribute, it's in my control and I want to help you out, why don't you let me? Why don't you just say thank you, like you're really really nice of you, or thank you so much. And
yes, I mean there's all sorts of things going on there, isn't there?
Yeah.
And obviously it depends on the individual situation as well. Who knows what the power dynamics are and all of that. But learning to take compliments and just accepting them can be learned. And the more that you practice it, the easier it becomes, and the more actually you can realize that the impact that you are having on the world and on others. And if that's a positive thing, then why not build on it? Why not take the word of other people?
Exactly. Where we think, oh, okay, she or he paid me this compliment. I wonder, how does he see that? What's how did he notice that? Or, is it, just be curious and think, oh, that's nice. Someone sees this in me. Okay, when am I not seeing it maybe in myself?
Oh gosh, yes. Linked to that is this dilemma that we know all the thoughts in our heads. We hear ourselves all the time with all of these bizarre things that we think, all of the things that we think, oh, where did that thought come from? That was a bit bizarre. That's not a nice thing to think. Oh gosh, if I acted on that, that would be awful. And so we know that's going inside of our heads. And what I used to think was, if you really knew me, if you knew what I was thinking, you wouldn't like me. Well, that's all well and good, except for the fact that I don't know what's going on in your head. And you're probably having all of those similar thoughts, or maybe with your own strange ideas of the world and what you think and the things that you would or wouldn't do, Thank goodness we can't see each other's thoughts.
Yeah.
Pull up, I got 5 wishes on a Friday. I know y'all different, y'all popping bottles in broad day.